thankful to have you watching CNN 10 on this Wednesday, May 16th. From the CNN Center, I'm Carl Azuz. We're returning to the Middle East for our first story, where protests in the Palestinian-controlled territory of Gaza continued Tuesday, but they were reportedly smaller and less violent than the ones the day before. The Palestinian government says Israel and the U.S. are responsible for the deaths of dozens of Palestinians in Gaza this week. Israel says that a Palestinian group named Hamas is responsible for launching terrorist attacks at the border between Gaza and Israel. On yesterday's show, we looked at what's currently happening in Gaza and Jerusalem and some of the reasons for it. You can find that coverage in our archives section at cnn10.com. What we're doing today is explaining some of the history of Gaza and how unrest there dates back millennia.
Gaza is only about 25 miles long and 7 miles wide, but this small strip of land is one of the most fought over in history. It was an Egyptian base, a raw city of the Philistines, and the place where the Hebrew hero Samson, betrayed by Delilah, met his death. Since then, much blood has been spilled. The most recent contest for Gaza began at the end of World War II, when persecuted Jews traveled to Israel from Europe looking for a new start after the horrors of the Holocaust. In 1947, the UN created a plan to split Israel into two countries, one for Jews and one for the Arab people. Backed by the US President Harry S. Truman, David Ben-Gurion, Israel's founder, proclaimed the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948. Egypt then attacked Israel through the Gaza Strip. Israel was victorious, but Gaza remained under the control of Egypt, and an influx of Palestinian refugees began. In 1967, war broke out between Israel, Egypt, Jordan and Syria in what became known as the Six-Day War. Israel seized the Gaza Strip and held it for about 40 years. In 2006, Hamas, a group sworn to destroy Israel and listed by the United States, European Union and others as a terrorist group, won a landslide victory in Palestinian legislative elections. And Israel unilaterally pulled its forces out of Gaza that year. Hamas was now in control of the territory. However, Israel still controls much of the area's access to and from the Gaza Strip. Since then, Israel and Hamas have been exchanging blows. Israel maintains Hamas is a violent terror organization, while Hamas says they represent an oppressed people being victimized by the Jewish state. The international community continues to press for a cease in violence. But for now, the Strip's population of 1.8 million people are trapped in the crossfire.
10-second trivia. What movie holds the record for earning the most money worldwide? Avatar, Titanic, Jurassic World, or Star Wars: The Force Awakens? These are the top 4 moneymakers overall, but Avatar is number 1 with almost $2.8 billion. It cost about $300 million to make the movie Avengers: Infinity War. That's a lot. Many major motion pictures cost in the neighborhood of $100 million once you factor in marketing and distribution. Infinity War is one of the most expensive movies ever made, but for its producers, it's been a worthwhile investment. After 19 days in U.S. movie theaters, Avengers has hauled in more than $550 million. And if you add in what it's made worldwide, you get a staggering figure of $1.65 billion. And movie industry experts say it could become part of an elite club. There have been only 3 movies to make more than $2 billion worldwide. Infinity War could become the 4th. A good chunk of these revenues are coming from China. Even when American-made movies don't sell out theaters in America, they're finding a growing audience overseas.
A $200 million opening weekend for Avengers: Infinity War in China, thanks in part to people like these. A fan-led event last Friday with 300 or so Marvel diehards packed a Beijing theater to watch the film on its opening day. I like Thor the best because he's sincere and straightforward and good-looking. In just 3 days, the movie had already bested the entire China runs of other Marvel movies like Black Panther and Captain America: Civil War, and the film could make a run at the highest-grossing foreign film ever in China. For parent company Disney, it's a massive success. the result of years of cultivating the second largest movie market in the world. Their impact is expanding in China, so more Chinese viewers will come to watch Hollywood movies. It's something Hollywood has counted on for years now. In 2017, the North American box office was widely reported to be down 2.3%. China was up 22.3%, according to Chinese regulators. The market here has saved movies like World of Warcraft and the Tomb Raider reboot, both of which bombed in the US, but did well enough in China that analysts say sequels for both could happen. I think Hollywood movies have high standards. They're doing well in China, and I think that's because they're so high quality. China is not a cure-all, though, for Hollywood's profit woes. For example, in 2017, China only allowed 34 foreign films to be shown here, and this year probably won't be much different. Plus, there's increasing competition from films made right here in China. The top foreign film in 2017, The Fate of the Furious, made 2.6 billion yuan here. Wolf Warrior 2, a Chinese-made action film, made more than double that amount. But despite those long-term concerns, big studios will keep looking to China. Its theaters packed with heroes who may not save the world, but could give a boost to Hollywood's bottom line. Matt Rivers, CNN, Beijing.
It's getting more expensive to transfer products around America, and one major reason for that is because there's a shortage of truckers. Long-haul trucking is generally defined as being more than 250 miles from start to finish. The American Trucking Association estimates that there are 500,000 long-haul truckers in America, and that's about 63,000 drivers short of what's needed. The results? Companies are raising shipping rates, businesses are getting more competitive when it comes to hiring truckers, and Congress is considering lowering the interstate truck driving age from 21 to 18. But the effects of the shortage are already being felt across the United States. For 10 out of 10 today, hazards on a golf course. Bunkers, water. What are people doing so close to this thing? It's a 12-foot beast of a hazard, a monstrous alligator that recently walked the course on Fripp Island in South Carolina. Didn't seem to mind getting its picture taken, didn't seem to be interested in the game or the people playing it, at least until he gets hungry. No one was hurt in the animal's recent appearance, but if this is something that's common on the course, you can see how it'd be pretty off-putting. Maybe he just wants to join the club, maybe he wants to eat a hole-in-one. But while I don't mean to be catty, most gators on golf courses are wallets or belts, so it seems like if there's a live one around, someone should be able to cart him off or drive him away. I'm Golf Cardillazeus for CNN.